My name is Henk Mulder. I'm working at the University of Groningen in the Netherlands. And I'm also the coordinator of the PERARES project, and that's the project that's organizing this conference. So I want to welcome you from that position. I want to give you a brief outline of what our project entails. We have responded to the Science and Society call of 2008 of the Science and Society program of the European Commission, which was focused on structuring public engagement in research. And they wanted to move science communication as it was from transmission, so communicating after the research, to more interaction between civil society, various publics and researchers. So move from thinking about public understanding of science to engage people with science. And I know that the first guest speaker will further elaborate on that. Also, the European Commission wanted to have genuine engagement, so engagement that would make a difference. In this case, make a difference to research strategies. So not just interacting for the interaction, but doing something with the outcome of the interaction. And the consortium needed to have the broadest European coverage, so to be very inclusive of all the new member states, old member states alike. So that led us to the conclusion that we should have many partners from many countries. So we have 26 partners from 17 countries. And for a 4-year project, we got a huge amount of funding. So previous science shop networks were usually around the order of 400,000. Now we got 2.7 million. So we're very happy with that, of course. Thanks very much. But it also shows the success of the Science Shop network, that we are able to manage these amounts and do something useful with it. So these are the people that make it happen. I could make a list of all the institutes, but I find the people and the faces more illustrative. We have people from big universities like Cambridge, from smaller universities, from Cyprus, from Norway, from Israel. We have NGOs as a partner. We have a lot of NGOs that are not a formal partner, but that they work together with the team. So it's a very varied group. There are people that are working in science shops for a long time, people that are just starting it, so we can learn a lot from each other. And our objective for the project is to strengthen the interaction in formulating research agendas together. So already start communicating at the start of the research, not after the research, but together set research agendas. And that will make a difference to research strategies. And also we need to structure this public engagement and make sure it makes a difference to the research strategies. And the way we structure public engagement with research is that there is a group of PERARES members that have experience in organizing debates or dialogues on science and research. This happens, for instance, in the science festivals like in Cambridge, or other organized meetings, or some people have experience in setting up online dialogues. And the people that were organizing these science festivals like 10, 15 years ago, they were only showing what science has been doing. So it was more like the transmission mode. But they have changed gradually into discussing the science with the scientists, organizing science cafes. So in fact, they are coming closer to the world of people that do research with or for civil society organizations like science shops, or people that work in projects that are funded by research funders that fund cooperative projects. So whereas like 15 years ago, these were worlds apart, coming from a different paradigm on science communication, now we're able to work together. And in fact, we can use the dialogues happening in the science festivals, etc., to ask people, what research questions would you have? What could we do as a researcher for you? Not just interacting, but really asking this question, articulating research questions. So that's the structuring, and we hope to create synergy for both sides from this. So what do we do in the project? And there's many sessions that will explain this more in detail, so I'll be brief. Our French colleagues are organizing like scenario workshops between NGOs and research institutes, and they're continuing this in the UK as well. We have a work package that works together with Roma groups or travelers communities in Ireland to see what's on their mind, what research could be done for them or with them, instead of research on them, which has happened too often in the past. It needs to create a lot of trust between these groups. There's a work package on research on domestic violence. So groups in Stavanger, Cambridge and Brussels are working together with NGOs, women's shelters in these cities to see how they can do research to improve the care taking for victims of domestic violence, how they can do this together. We have an online dialogue on the PERARES Living Knowledge website. We have 5 items about nanotechnology, and we are discussing with civil society organizations and the general public what type of research questions could come from these novel scientific developments. For instance, if you develop a lab on a chip, there can be questions relating to the financing of these and the responsibilities of different parties. So that needs some researchers from social sciences or law studies to look on that. Of course, to answer all these questions that we need more science shops. So we set up 10 more science shops in various regions, and a lot of the colleagues are here and willing to discuss how you do this in their region. We also look at the potential role of higher education institutes, how they can improve these research cooperations with civil society. We are sharing good practices, so ways to do community-based research in the curriculum in one country is now tested in other countries as well, so we share our expertise. Our colleagues in Belfast have made a review of higher education policies and how research with civil society organizations can be written into these policies. In France, they are monitoring a postdoc project, which is funded by a regional council, to see how this partnership has different particularities and how we can learn from that and how we can convince funders that it's worth to fund these types of projects. And as mentioned, the colleagues from Belfast also made an overview about research funding policies to fund our type of work. And we have to hope that the research funders among themselves can share this information, because if one research funder is funding this, they will have all the quality assurance in place. They know how much money to give to these projects, how to evaluate them. So research funders can learn a lot from each other, and we only bring them together. We do a lot of evaluation on this myriad ways of setting research agenda. So there will be a special session on that as well, how to do that. And of course, we are able to organize 2 conferences, not only this one in Bonn, but also in 2 years' time, there will be the next Living Knowledge Conference in Copenhagen. And as you can see, the European Commission Science in Society program actually works. This all would have been impossible without the continued support from the European Commission since the year 2000. It allows us to spend our working hours to organize meetings like this, to reach out, to learn from others, and to group people together. So without this support, it would not be possible, because in my science shop, we have 1 full-time job. And if I spend a few days a week on networking, the job doesn't get done. So we need additional funding for it. Okay, you can see this family is growing. There's more people all the time, and there's many science shops in many countries by many names. And well, you can add your country, your name there. Just send me an email and I'll put it on the slide for next conference. And it's a very good feeling that this family is growing, both in quantity and in quality and in particularities, backgrounds. So rest me to say, welcome you to Bonn, and I do hope that you co-create a lot of knowledge on the issues this conference. Thank you.